unvorstellbaren Vorgangs, einer Tragödie, die wir erlebt haben. Wir haben es gerade mit dem Bundeskanzler und Vertreterinnen und Vertretern des Bundeskabinetts und der Bundespolitik besichtigen
Ladies and gentlemen,
denn es ist
we're
wirklich
in
ein
the spot where a dreadful
Ort,
event
der
happened, a
auch immer
horrible
mit der
tragedy.
Geschichte der Stadt
We've just
Magdeburg
been talking to
in
the Federal
Verbindung bleiben
Chancellor
wird und
and
auch als
representatives
Gedenkort und als
from the
Gedenktag
federal government
auch in die Stadtgeschichte Eingang
who visited
finden
the
wird.
scene with them.
Das ist furchtbar und wir haben bisher eine
This is a
Bilanz,
place
die
which will always be
noch
linked to
schrecklicher
the
ist, als wir
history
es
of
gestern Abend
Magdeburg now. It will become
noch
a
einschätzen
site
konnten.
of
Wie Sie
commemoration
wissen,
and will enter the annals of
haben
our
wir
history in that
inzwischen
spirit.
5 Menschenleben zu beklagen
That is really dreadful.
und über 200 Verletzte, davon viele schwerst verletzt und schwer verletzt. Und das ist eine
The figures are
Dimension,
worse than
die
last
keiner von uns überhaupt
night.
vorstellen konnte. Und wir haben gerade mit den
We now have
Rettungskräften und der
5 fatalities
Feuerwehr sprechen können. Es ist bisher
and over
sozusagen
200 people who
unvorstellbar
are
gewesen, dass es
injured.
so etwas
Many who are
überhaupt
critically injured
in
are badly
Deutschland
injured.
und in Europa geben kann.
And
in
this is an order of
Friedenszeiten,
magnitude
in
that
denen
none of
wir uns
us
ja
could have
befinden.
imagined.
Auf der anderen Seite war es
We
wichtig,
talked
dass
to the
wir
people from the fire
jetzt
brigade
gerade
and the
heute früh
emergency
auch in der
responders.
Landesregierung eine
It was quite
Kabinettssitzung gemacht haben,
astonishing. It was
Festlegungen zu treffen
unimaginable that
von
something like this could
darüber
happen
hinausgehenden, über das
in
übliche
Germany,
Maß
in the middle
hinausgehenden
of Europe.
Zuständigkeiten, über die finanziellen und organisatorischen Ressourcen, denn wir müssen die Opfer
It was very
begleiten, die
important
Angehörigen.
that
Wir
this morning
müssen
we could
viele
have
Dinge,
a
noch
cabinet
viele Monate
meeting
möglicherweise und darüber
in
hinaus
the
als
Saxony-Anhalt
Gesellschaft
federal government.
gesamtheitlich mittragen. Und ich bin dankbar, dass der
We
Bundeskanzler
addressed the
mit seinen
financial and
Kolleginnen und
organizational
Kollegen
resources that we need to
dann
make
auch
available to
dazugestoßen
support
ist in die
the
Staatskanzlei
victims
hinein. Und wir
and
haben
their loved ones.
ausführlich darüber reden können, wie die
We need
Hilfe
to support them
und Unterstützung des Bundes aussieht, weil
for
wir in
months
einer
and months moving
Dimension
forward.
etwas zu bewältigen
All of
haben,
us
was
must
auch
provide
in
support
Deutschland
as
bisher
society as well. I'm very grateful that the Federal
einzigartig in
Chancellor
der
and his colleagues has
negativen
joined us as
Konsequenz
well.
gewesen ist. Da wird der Herr Bundeskanzler selber
We've
noch
been
was
able
sagen. Ich
to
danke
discuss
ausdrücklich
at detail
dem
how we
gerade
can
auch
provide
stellvertretend
support,
mit
what kind of
uns
support will come
sprechen
from the central
können,
government
den
as well.
Hilfskräften und
We're grappling
den
with something that is
Sanitätern,
really of an
den
order of magnitude
medizinischen
that's not yet been
Mitarbeiterinnen
seen
und Mitarbeitern, den
in
Feuerwehren
Germany. These
und all
negative
denjenigen, die
consequences are quite
regional und überregional
horrendous,
geholfen
and the
haben.
Chancellor will say a
Wenn
few
das
words to
nicht
us in
so
a moment. I'd like
professionell gelaufen wäre,
to thank
dann
you
wäre
for being
alles
with
noch
us,
viel,
and
viel
thank you
schlimmer geworden, auch was die
also to
medizinische
the emergency
Betreuung, Begleitung anbelangt.
responders,
Die Krankenhäuser,
the first
die
aid
hervorragend
teams, the
in
ambulance
großem
teams,
Radius
the fire
ihre
brigade, and
Kapazitäten
everyone who
sofort
stepped
umgestellt
in
haben und mit vielen, vielen
regionally
auch
and across
zusätzlichen
Germany.
und
If it
freiwilligen
hadn't
Fachkräften,
been so
Ärztinnen und Ärzten
professional in terms of the
und
response, the
Pflegerinnen
situation would
und
have been
Pflegern
still
dort
worse, particularly in terms
alles mit
of the
versucht
medical
haben,
response. The
so
hospitals are doing
zu erhalten, dass
outstanding
wir das
work all
medizinische
around
auf maximalem
us. They've
Niveau
made their
sicherstellen
capacities
konnten.
and free
Jetzt können wir
beds
nur hoffen
available.
und auch beten, dass
A lot
die
of
Schwerstverletzten
people
und
are doing
Schwerverletzten
extra shifts and
ihre
providing voluntary
Genesung
support.
erleben
Everyone
und damit
is
also
doing their
weitere
bit
Opfer
to
dieser Stadt
ensure
und
that
vom
medical
Lande
care
Sachsen-Anhalt
could
erspart
be
bleiben, weil das
provided
uns
as required, and
eine
we can
Last
just
ist, die
hope
wir nur schwer tragen
and
können.
indeed pray
Wir werden
that those
heute
who are
Abend
critically ill
einen Gedenk-
and
und
seriously
einen
damaged will actually be able
Trauergottesdienst
to
haben
recover.
im Dom. Die
We
beiden
hope very much there
Bischöfe
will not be any
werden
further
ihn halten
fatalities.
und auch vor dem Dom kann man, falls wir nicht
It's
alle
such
reinpassen,
a
seine
horrible
Solidarität
burden
und
for
Trauer zum
us
Ausdruck
to
bringen.
bear this
Die Stadtgesellschaft
grief.
und
This
das
evening there
Land
will be a
sind ganz
commemoration, a
insgesamt
memorial
beruhigt und froh
service
darüber, dass
in the
in
cathedral,
Zeiten wie in diesen
and the bishops will
letzten Stunden
both
wir
present
gemerkt haben,
that.
was wirklich
And if
existenziell
everyone
ist im
doesn't
menschlichen
fit
Leben
into the
und was
cathedral,
eigentlich
you'll be able
sozusagen
to express your solidarity
nachrangig
outside the
ist bei
cathedral
all
as
den
well.
Notwendigkeiten, die Politik auch und Gesellschaft immer zu erfüllen hat.
The
Aber es
municipal
gibt eben Dinge,
government
da geht es
and
um das
the regional
menschliche Leben, um
government is
Zukunft
pulling together on this
und
front, and
auch
we've realised
Sicherheit.
what
Darüber
is
müssen wir
the most
zukünftig
important over the
noch
last few
deutlicher
hours, what
reden.
is
Aber
the
das ist
most
heute nicht der
vital
Tag,
and
das
what
zu
is of
tun,
secondary
sondern heute
importance.
trauern wir.
There are all
Und
kinds
dann
of
werden wir
political
weiter uns
concerns, of
verpflichten,
course,
aber eben auch
but there are
unsere
some
weiteren
things where you just have to think
Überlegungen
about
anstellen,
human
wie
lives
wir
and
den
about the
Bürgerinnen und
future
Bürgern
and about
das Gefühl
security.
vermitteln,
In
dass
the
man
future,
in
we'll have to
Deutschland
talk
nicht nur
more
sichere
clearly about
Weihnachtsmärkte hat,
security,
sondern
but
dass
today
wir
is not the
unser
time
Leben
to
in
do
dieser
so. Today, in the
freiheitlich-demokratischen
first
Grundordnung
instance,
so leben
we
können,
are
wie wir
mourning,
das wollen
and
und
we
wir
will, of
das
course, take up our
nach unserem
responsibilities
Grundgesetz
and
auch
give thought as to
entsprechend
how
realisieren
we
dürfen.
can
Und
give our
deswegen
citizens a
ist
clear
mit der
sense
Trauer dann
that you can
verbunden
have
auch eine
safe
Aufgabenstellung, die
Christmas
für uns
markets
als
in
Politik
Germany
weiterhin besteht.
and
Danke
that
für
you
die
can have
Unterstützung, Herr
a
Bundeskanzler.
secure stable democratic order in keeping with our constitution. So, of course, we have mourning ahead of us and grief, but there is also a lot of work to be done for us in political terms. So thank you, Chancellor, for your solidarity. Thank you. And let us get to grips with what's going to be happening over the next few weeks and months, all of us pulling together. Now, normally a Christmas market is a very peaceful and joyful place. People come together just before Christmas, in Advent, in the run-up to Christmas, to enjoy Christmas, to think about Christmas, to drink Glühwein and to eat grilled sausages. What a dreadful tragedy it is that so many people were injured and killed with such brutality in a place like that. We've now heard that more than 200 people have been injured. There are 5 fatalities so far. And so many people are critically injured that we are severely concerned about what will happen to them. It's a dreadful catastrophe. We'd all like to express our empathy and sympathy to those who are injured and to the families of those who are injured, to the families of those who have been killed. And I'd like to express the solidarity of the entire country. We're all profoundly touched and shocked by this, and we need to stand together and pull together, and will indeed do so. It's very impressive that so many people stepped in to help immediately, including all the people who are working at the Christmas market and visiting the Christmas market. It's impressive to see that the police and the fire brigade responded so rapidly, and many people came to help, to really provide tangible assistance straight away. It was very moving for me to talk to the people who were working here as first responders. After you've had that kind of event, it affects everybody. Everybody has to respond rapidly, and the professional response has meant the situation's not even worse than it already is. At the same time, though, we know that this is something that helpers will also be affected by. The emergency service will have to struggle with the memory of this as well. Right across Germany, providing support to the emergency services in this kind of situation, so that nobody is left alone with their memories. And that's even more the case for those who are injured, for the families of the victims as well. We're providing support in hospitals and moving forward as well to get to grips with this catastrophe and its ramifications, these innocent victims of this dreadful, crazy deed. It's important now that we investigate in detail with great precision what has happened. We need to look into all of the background to this deed. We're providing all of the resources required to do that. Of course, we need to investigate the perpetrator in depth and his deed, and of course, subsequently draw the requisite consequences and respond. What's important to me is that when you have this kind of atrocity happening, this kind of dreadful incident with so many people killed and injured, it's almost actually to the day, the anniversary of the attack at Breitscheidplatz in Berlin, and it's important to me that we stand united, that we talk to each other, we enter into dialogue, that we do not disseminate hatred. We remain a community that has a shared future. We should not allow those who wish to sow hate to do so. But of course, the perpetrators cannot get off scot-free. They must be punished for what has happened in all cases. That is also part and parcel of our shared future. I've heard and experienced a great deal of solidarity from all over the world. Many people have sent personal messages and written personal messages. It's very positive to hear that we in Germany are not alone with these challenges and dealing with this catastrophe. So thank you to all of you. Once again, thank you to everybody who's helped. Thank you to the first responders, the emergency services. And of course, we'd like to express our solidarity to all of those who have been injured, the citizens of Magdeburg, those who have been killed, their families. Everybody, of course, will be dealing with this profound grief over the days to come.